Discover the shocking truth about wheat spirituality, what they still don't want you to know. The air was thick with whispers, shadows slinking through the flickering candlelight. It felt like something was bubbling beneath the surface of reality, something ancient and primal. As Jenna stood in the dimly lit room, clutching her hand-rolled joint, an unsettling fear gripped her heart. What if they were right? What if everything she believed was a lie? What if the secrets held within that smoke were darker than she ever dared to imagine? The room echoed with the soft crackle of burning plant material, blending eerily with the low hum of an unplaceable chant, and for the first time, the potential power of the herb looked monstrous. That it was a fact that lay hidden in dusty, forgotten tomes over centuries. Many societies revered cannabis as a conduit to higher consciousness. But there was an unsettling twist. Those who dared to tread too far into those spiritual depths faced terrifying consequences. Jenna recalled the stories told in hushed tones, a friend's cousin who had vanished after one too many trips into the unknown. A soothing herbal blend turned cacophony of fear, darkness. Sweat trickled down her back as she remembered the last time they gathered. The way the older man, cloaked in shadows and smoke, had claimed that they watched. Who was they? Were they the same ones who frowned upon this sacred practice? With every inhale, Jenna felt dizzy, as if the walls of the room were closing in, leaving only a small circle of light illuminating her world. She wanted to scream, to turn away from whatever was creeping closer, something that felt like a spirit gazing back at her through the rising tendrils of smoke. It wasn't just marijuana anymore, it was a portal, perhaps to madness or something even worse. She clutched her head, searching her surroundings, desperate to find a face that mirrored her fear. But the congregation seemed entranced, lost in their psychedelic reverie, passively unaware of the sinister energy swirling around them. Before we continue, I need to tell you something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to their system and many people are missing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and select all notifications so you don't miss future videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As Jenna's heart raced, she caught a glimpse of the old man lifting his gaze from the floor, eyes locking onto hers with an unsettling intensity. It felt as if he could see her soul, plucking every hidden fear from her. The chant rose, echoing in her ears, drowning out her thoughts. She felt it then, a chill creeping through her spine as if icy fingers tugged at her very essence. A collective gasp whispered through the group, drawing her closer to the brink. What revelation lay ahead? Was she being summoned into enlightenment, or into a dark abyss? The tension thrummed in the air like a tightened wire, ready to snap. Jenna's heart pounded, her breath catching in her throat. She was caught in the nexus of curiosity and dread, yearning to know what beasts and wonders awaited on the other side of the smoke. What secrets could she uncover, and at what cost? She glanced at the old man, sensing the answer was just out of reach. But that terrifying uncertainty loomed, as she prepared to plunge into the unknown. Jenna felt paralyzed, the tension snapping like a fragile thread as the old man's gaze bore deeper into her. Suddenly, everything around her spiraled into chaos. The candlelight flickered violently, casting monstrous shadows across the room, a wild dance of fear and darkness. She gasped, the joint falling from her fingers, rolling across the floor as her heart pounded wildly in her chest. "What is happening?" she whispered, but the words faded into the rising noise. The chant grew louder, enveloping her, wrapping her in an eerie cloak of sound. The other members of the circle seemed to be ascending into another realm, their faces swimming in a mixture of ecstasy and terror. Were they aware of the danger lurking behind the veil of their intoxication? The air thickened, almost turning solid, it felt oppressive against her skin. A malevolent force swirled amongst them, and Jenna could have sworn she heard a voice low, sinister calling her name. "Jenna, come closer." Shivers ran down her arms as panic bubbled up. "No. I can't." She breathed, instinctively backing away, trying to create distance from the growing mass of haze. But just as she turned, a sharp scream cut through the air, freezing her in place. It belonged to Mia, a girl from the group, her wide eyes staring blankly as if witnessing something unspeakable. "Stop!" Jenna cried, her voice mingling with the chanting that now felt like a beast roaring in unison. But it was too late. The old man raised his hands, and the energy in the room shifted. It felt as if the universe itself was holding its breath, waiting for something dreadful to unfold. Suddenly, the chaos boiled over. Thick smoke swirled and twisted, coalescing into shapes that were no longer human. Dark silhouettes loomed, their forms indistinct but filled with a palpable dread. Jenna's breath quickened. Her pulse raced. She was teetering on the edge. What lay beyond this distorted frontier? Fear surged through her. What had she stepped into? Was this what the old man meant by they? Were these shadowy figures the watchers he had spoken of? Spirits, demons, or something even worse? It felt as though the very fabric of reality was unraveling, and she was caught right in the middle, staring into the abyss. "Help her!" Another voice broke through the din, but it sounded far away, muffled against the rising crescendo. Jenna spun back towards Mia, who crumpled to the floor, convulsing against an unseen force. The chant intensified, voices merging into a haunting symphony of despair. Jenna plunged forward, a surge of adrenaline propelling her. She knelt beside Mia, desperately grasping her shoulders. "Stay with me." But as she made contact, the shadows surged closer, their clammy tendrils reaching out, wrapping around her mind. Visions exploded within her, vibrant yet terrifying, a myriad of faces, horrors, and ecstasies. Pain flooded her, visions of past souls consumed by the darkness. Was this the truth hidden in the smoke? Every secret, every fear showed itself, demanding to be faced. She struggled against the tide of memories, each worse than the last. Suddenly, just as she felt herself slipping away, the room fell silent. All at once, the candle flame steadied, and the shadows retreated as if finally sated. Jenna gasped for air, nearly choking. She blinked, disoriented. Then the old man spoke, his voice a low growl that pierced her disorientation. "You have seen now. You know what they are capable of. But the real question, Jenna, is, are you ready to embrace their truth?" The tension hung heavy in the air as Jenna stood at the crossroads of reality and the unknown, heart racing with one terrifying thought: what price would she pay for the knowledge that lay ahead? What if confronting this truth meant losing everything? As she locked eyes with him, the question loomed, the darkness swirling closer. What would she choose? She could feel the shadows tightening their grip around her, and the moment was ticking down to a climax she could not escape. Jenna's heart thundered like a drum, trapped in a rhythm of dread as the old man's question echoed in her mind. The room felt alive and oppressive, a living entity waiting to consume her. She took a shaky breath, trying to calm the tempest inside her. Each second stretched into eternity, the shadows pulsating as if responding to her fear. What truth? She stammered, every muscle in her body tensed, ready to bolt at the first sign of danger. The other members of the circle remained silent, their faces twisted with a blend of rapture and horror, too enthralled by whatever dark magic had unfolded. "Truth is seldom kind, my dear," the old man replied, his voice smooth yet jagged like broken glass. "It unveils itself in its own time, its own way." He gestured, and the candles flickered, revealing the details of the shadowy figures that hung in the air. Each wisp seemed to carry a history, a tragedy. Jenna felt their coldness prick her skin, and for a brief moment, she glimpsed their pain, a legion of lost souls caught between worlds. She pulled back instinctively, fear clawing at her mind. Did those shadows hold a truth she wasn't ready to face? What kind of knowledge could lead a person to walk willingly toward darkness? Then Mia convulsed again, tears streaming down her face, and Jenna's stomach knotted, her instinct to protect overriding her terror. She reached out, desperate to shake her friend back from whatever nightmare she was trapped in. "Mia, you need to fight. Come back." "No," Mia gasped, her eyes rolling back as if searching for something unseen. Don't let them take you. They will. The old man interrupted, his voice rising above the chaos again. To know the truth, you must willingly sacrifice something precious. Jenna's breath hitched, and her heart plummeted. Sacrifice? What could she possibly give that was worth this dark bargain? She felt the walls closing in, every confrontation she had ever faced flooding back. Sacrificing her sanity? Her freedom? Time felt like a knife twisting deeper into her gut. I'm not afraid, she lied, her voice faltering. But I want to become one of them. Ah, but fear is merely an illusion, he murmured, eyes glinting with an unsettling light. Embrace it, Jenna, let it take you. Only then will you uncover the power it conceals. From behind him, shadows curled, whispering secrets that echoed through her mind like a siren's call. They beckoned with promises of strength, of insight that lay just beyond reach. Jenna shut her eyes, shaking her head furiously, trying to block out the seductive lure. Please let her go. She cried, grabbing Mia with renewed urgency. But as she clutched her friend, the shadows surged, raw power swirling like a tempest. The candles flared wildly, their flames bending as if in surrender. Suddenly, a scream erupted from Mia's throat, raw and primeval, splintering the air. Jenna's pulse raced, she could feel their grip tightening, a desperate clawing sensation in her chest. Was this the price? Was it tearing her apart to protect someone else? Then, just as suddenly as it began, the scream ceased. A profound silence washed over the room, and for a moment, Jenna thought perhaps they had escaped. But when she opened her eyes, the room felt emptier, colder. The old man stood there, eyes fixed on her, a knowing expression etched across his face. Choose, he said simply, the finality of his words settling like a weight. Do you dare to defy them? Or do you risk everything to know the truth that lies beyond? As the shadows loomed closer, whispering her name, Jenna felt herself teetering again. Was it worth the pain? More importantly, could she withstand the haunting revelation of what lay ahead? The question lingered, heavy and suffocating, as the darkness pressed in, waiting for her answer. Jenna's mind raced, the shadows swirling like serpents in her thoughts. What if the cost is too high, she wondered, her heart pounding like a war drum. Each beat marked time slipping away, binding her to this dark, twisted moment. She had to act. Mia! She screamed, voice cracking, fight! I'm not leaving you! The shadows hissed in response, sending chills whispering down her spine. This wasn't just about her anymore, their power twisted around her friend like a vice. The old man merely watched, his bony fingers steepled, an amused smile touching his lips as if savoring the torment. You see, Jenna, the truth is always waiting for the brave or the foolish, he taunted. Which are you? Neither. She shouted defiantly. But the words felt like a frail shield against the encroaching darkness. She focused on Mia, pleading with her to find a way back, to break free, to shatter whatever grip held her soul captive. Panic gnawed at Jenna. Had they entered an unwinnable game? Mia gasped, her body twitching. They want you to join. Her voice shook, and Jenna saw a flash of clarity in her eyes. Was Mia there, underneath the turmoil? Don't let them take you. The truth isn't what they say. That voice, filled with a desperate truth-fueled frenzy, cut through the fog. Then what is it? Jenna shouted back, squeezing Mia's hand, willing her warmth to transfer strength. What do we need to do? Mia's breath came in rapid bursts. You have to face what's inside. They twist it to break you. You can't lose yourself. Jenna felt heat, an ancient emotion stirring the fight, the refusal to surrender. It flashed through her like lightning. I will not give in to your lies. She cried at the shadows, feeling them recoil as if stung. The old man's grin faded, twisted anger flickering behind his eyes. You cannot deny the truth, child. Every sacrifice demands its due. He gestured again, the air thickening with ominous energy. The shadows seemed to shiver with hunger, they lunged forward, enveloping Jenna in a suffocating darkness. She gasped for breath, the weight of 100 voices clamoring for control echoing in her ears. Don't believe them. Mia's voice broke through the chaotic noise, stronger now, fiercer. You can still choose what to keep. You decide, be brave. The darkness pulled tighter, digging into her thoughts, unearthing every fear, every regret. Images flashed a childhood memory, her parents' disappointed faces, the boy who broke her heart. Is this what you meant? She screamed, filled with anguish. Am I just these things? Discard them. Mia yelled, you are more. With a sharp intake of breath, Jenna closed her eyes, focusing on that flame of courage burning within her. I want to let you take me. She shouted defiantly, channeling all her love for Mia. Suddenly, the room erupted with light crimson and gold flames danced in defiance against the shadows. Jenna opened her eyes to see the wisping figures writhing, their forms flickering like dying embers. The old man stumbled back, his face twisted in shock. No, you cannot. But it was too late. The power housed within Jenna surged, a tidal wave crashing against despair. With one final push, she felt something break inside, a barrier shattering. I choose hope. I choose love. She bellowed, her voice resonating through the chaos. The shadows screamed, a cacophony of rage and anguish as the light enveloped them, scattering their essence into the ether. For a brief moment, the air shimmered like morning dew, illuminating every corner of the dim room, but the relief was short-lived. As the shadows dissipated, Jenna noticed something eerie lurking at the edges of the light, flickering back to existence. A new whisper, colder and darker, began to form, rising from the remnants of the shadows that had been vanquished. The old man's eyes glinted with newfound determination. You may have escaped the trivial, but the true darkness is yet to come, and the price. He leaned closer, his smile chilling. You just started to pay it. Jenna's breath hitched as she realized, with dread creeping back in like fog, that the battle was far from over. What more would they demand from her? Something precious, she murmured, the grim weight of the next sacrifice dawning on her. Their journey into the heart of darkness had only just begun. What revelations awaited them now? The shadows quivered, swirling like a storm on the edge of a cliff, ready to plunge into the depths below. Jenna's heart thudded in her chest, a wild animal trying to escape the cage of fear that gripped her. The old man's laughter echoed, a sinister melody entwined with the sibilant whispers that teased her ears. What price? She demanded, her voice barely above a whisper but ignited with defiance. What do you want from us? He stepped closer, skimming the boundary of the light, his face eerily illuminated by the remnants of the vanquished shadows. The truth has a cost, and only the brave dare to ascertain its value. His gaze slid from Jenna to Mia, his smile cruel and calculating. Do you wish to know what lies beyond that threshold? Jenna clenched her fists, battling a wave of desperation mixed with determination. I want to save Mia. Not to play your twisted games. Ah, but every choice comes with consequences. He inclined his head slightly, eyes glinting like shards of glass. You both must enter the fray of your own fears to seek clarity. Or remain forever shackled in illusion. Mia, barely conscious, murmured, Jenna, you have to make a choice, face the darkness or be consumed by it. Jenna's entire being was a maelstrom of emotions. I want to leave you, she cried out, agony choking her voice. It felt as if the shadows were tightening their hold again, waiting, hungry for her weakness. The old man stepped into the flickering light, casting a long shadow that stretched across the floor like a specter. Then prepare yourself. The true nature of the sacrifice is not what you think. Our realm feeds on clarity and pain. Only by confronting your deepest fears can the chains be broken. The atmosphere pulsed, alive with a grim energy. A dark wind swirled around them, and Jenna felt her heart race. She was being pulled towards something unspeakable, a gaping maw of uncertainty. What is it? What do we confront? With a sickening lurch, visions began to tear through her mind, a scene of abandonment, her childhood home empty and desolate, echoing promises never kept. A rush of shame filled her, folding in around her like a shroud. No! She screamed, shaking her head as if to rid herself of the images, but they crashed over her like waves, relentless and cold. You are nothing without these truths. Embrace them. The old man hissed, the shadows mirroring his fervor and lapping at her edges. She's right. Mia cried, awakening for a moment, her eyes filled with urgency. You must confront the truth of who you are. You cannot run from yourself. Breathless with horror, Jenna clenched her teeth, resisting each bitter memory. I refuse. She shouted, determination flaring again like embers rekindling. But in that moment of conviction, another thought struck her. Was this moment really about her own fears, or was it about saving Mia? The shadows pulsed, glowing red at the edges, feeding off Jenna's turmoil. Your friend is losing herself to the darkness even now. Choose wisely, or both of you will be consumed. Each word tore through her, digging deeper than any knife. I won't let you take us. Jenna roared, heart racing faster, certainty marching alongside fear. I'll face this darkness, but not alone. As the words left her lips, the light around them blazed brighter, and glittering sparks burst from the air, bursting forth in all directions. But the shadows growled, a low, guttural sound ripping through the atmosphere. Very well, the old man sneered, but there was a hint of uncertainty in his voice. Let the true test begin. An icy wind swirled around them, leaving Jenna breathless as the memories intensified with their grip. She steadied herself, ready and unwilling to submit. The air crackled, charged with tension and raw power, igniting hope against despair, but then, a chilling laugh broke the moment as the darkness began to twist, reshaping itself into something monstrous on the horizon of their minds. Something neither of them anticipated. What awaited Jenna and Mia wasn't just a battle for their souls, it was a confrontation with the very fabric of their existence. Their voices collided with the shadow's roar, intent on bringing them down. The moment hung in the air, heavy and pregnant with possibility. As the shadows approached, Jenna felt the ground shifting beneath her feet. Would they confront the darkness together, or would the next sacrifice fall into the abyss? As the light shimmered around them, Jenna knew, deep down, the real fight was just beginning. Would the truth they sought liberate them or seal their fate? Jenna felt a wave of dread pulse through her as the shadows twisted grotesquely, undulating like serpents hungry for their next meal. She grasped Mia's hand tightly. The warmth was a lifeline in this chilling void, anchoring her resolve in this nightmare. Stay with me, Jenna urged, though her voice trembled. A muffled thud echoed. Was it the darkness slapping against the edges of their fragile reality? Jenna, we have to face it. Together. Mia's words were weak, but they carried a fierce conviction. They stirred something inside Jenna, a flicker of hope amidst the chaos. The old man's laughter ricocheted off the walls, causing Jenna to flinch. Ah, young ones, how deliciously naive. You think you can oppose what lurks in these shadows? You think you can unearth buried truths without consequence? Stop. Just, stop. Jenna's voice raised a notch, cutting through the thick air. You don't know us. We'll find a way. Perhaps she was trying to convince him, but deep down, she was trying to convince herself. The shadows hissed, creeping closer, expanding with each lash of the old man's sinister allure. Fighting it will only worsen your fate. Accept the truth, accept yourselves. Jenna glared at him. You're a liar. You thrive on fear, don't you? It's you who's afraid. For a brief moment, his laughter faltered, and darkness shuddered, revealing flickering images of their most profound regrets. Jenna clenched her eyes shut. The floodgates opened, memories erupted. Her mother's tear-streaked face when she left for the city, the screams that echoed through their empty home, all bleeding together. The echoes screamed louder, raking at her soul. You failed her, no. Jenna cried, the despair clawing at her insides like a wild beast. The shadows twisted, delighted, swirling around her, feeding on her turmoil. Face it. You feel responsible, don't you? The old man taunted, moving closer still, leaning forward as if trying to penetrate her very thoughts. Truth is, you're a coward, always have been. Your mother disappeared into the shadows of your choices. Will she haunt you forever? Jenna could feel her heart splintering, that torturous ache of guilt spilling over. She fought the tears pooling in her eyes. No. Not here. Not now, Mia gasped, sensing Jenna's turmoil. Jenna, look at me. We can't let them win. Her eyes glinted with fierce determination, pushing through the creeping despair that surrounded them. Every moment we give in, we lose pieces of ourselves. Breath hitching in her throat, Jenna nodded. We won't give up. We're stronger together. She squeezed Mia's hand tighter, the connection sparking a flicker of strength. The shadows paused, writhing hesitantly as if their power momentarily waned under the force of their unity. The old man's expression transformed, astonishment flickered across his craggy face. Foolish children, you believe mere friendship can overcome the essence of fear? In an instant, the shadows surged forward, crashing toward them like waves, darker and more fierce than ever. Jenna braced herself, every fiber of her being igniting with determination. As the haunts of her past engulfed her entire vision, she drew from the very core of her existence, focusing on the connection with Mia. Let us confront this together. She yelled, the words bursting forth like a fiery shield against the oncoming storm. The shadows recoiled as the room ignited, flooded with blinding light as they united, their hope unyielding against the cacophony of despair. Faces of the past twisted in agony, but through it all, a path revealed itself, pulsing like a heartbeat. You think you found your way? The old man's voice broke, a tremor creeping in. No. You can't simply will it away. But as Jenna squared her shoulders, she felt the power of every unforgotten truth, every moment of sorrow, swirling around her, not to drown her, but to lift her. They were no longer just shadows, they were the depth of her experience, the core of who she was. Together. Jenna screamed, and with that, they took their first step into the illumination, the darkness tumbling back. Like an avalanche, but even as they advanced, a surge of foreboding still lingered. The shadows whispered once more, brushing against her soul, insistent, coiling with a familiarity that chilled. Were they truly ready to face what lay ahead? Would freedom come at a price far greater than they imagined? As the light swallowed the darkness, Jenna's heart raced at what awaited them just beyond the threshold. In a world where truth reigned supreme, what unearthly revelation would they unearth next? Jenna stepped into the light, heart pounding, as hope flickered like a distant star against a stormy sky. Mia's grip tightened around her fingers, their connection pulsing with an energy that banished the suffocating shadows. But just as Jenna thought they'd be broken free, a shiver ran down her spine. The air felt thicker, charged with something electric yet eerie. What is this place? Mia whispered, her voice barely a murmur. They stood in a vast, sprawling chamber, walls shimmering like a mirage, flickers of blue and gold intertwining as if hand-painted by a divine artist. Ancient symbols swirled around them, glowing faintly, and Jenna felt their meanings digging into her consciousness. This was no ordinary place, she could sense dormant power, like a vast ocean waiting to be awakened. Look over there. Mia pointed, her face a mix of curiosity and dread. A figure emerged from the shadows across the chamber, ethereal yet menacing, a woman draped in flowing robes, her eyes glinting with secrets. Ah, the brave little girls, she said, voice smooth like polished stone. You've strayed far from the path of safety. But you have only glimpsed the beginning. Jenna's heart raced once more. What do you mean? We're not afraid. We want to confront our past. The woman laughed softly, almost pityingly. You misunderstand. The darkness you faced was but a bite of the whole pie. Your journey has only just begun. Are you ready to taste the real dish? Before either girl could respond, the symbols surrounding them flared to life, casting eerie shadows across the chamber. The floor trembled slightly, vibrating with a pulse that felt intimately familiar, yet disconcerting. "Follow me, if you dare," the woman beckoned, gliding across the chamber with an unsettling grace. Jenna felt an inexplicable pull, the urge to follow swirling within her. Despite the fear gnawing at her stomach, she forced herself onward. As they followed the apparition deeper into the unknown, a cacophony of sounds echoed, whispers of regret, laughter of memories long gone, and the piercing cries of souls lost to despair. Each note struck Jenna like a physical force, igniting both fear and understanding. "What is this?" Mia's voice quivered beside her. "This is the tapestry of your existence," the woman replied, her eyes narrowing, almost inspecting Jenna's soul. "Every thread connects your choices, your heartaches, your triumphs. Without every shadow, light remains meaningless." A sudden chill gripped Jenna's heart as the woman gestured to a pulsing wall of shadows at the chamber's end. "Now, let us see what lies hidden beneath your bravado. Are you truly prepared to uncover your greatest fear?" Jenna exchanged a glance with Mia, uncertainty flooding her senses. "We've come this far. We can handle anything together," she said, though uncertainty gnawed at her. As they approached the pulsing shadows, Jenna's breath hitched. Dark figures began to emerge, indistinct at first, until familiar faces started to gain coherence. Her mother, tangled in sorrow, and other reflections of people she had lost or hurt. "Look, Mia, it's everyone." Jenna gasped, gripping her friend's hand tighter. "Turn back, child," the woman warned. "The truth can shatter you. It's a burden, not a gift." Jenna shook her head defiantly. "I have to face them. We have to do this." The shadows separated, revealing memories she had buried deep, haunting like ghosts, suffused with pain. Each one pierced her heart like a dagger, a reminder of the lives that intertwined with hers. Had she really been as cowardly as the old man said? Was it too late for redemption? "No!" she shouted, grounding herself. "You don't define me. We are more than our regrets." The chamber trembled, the air crackling with tension. But the shadows surged in response, pushing closer, testing her resolve. Jenna felt the weight of despair, but behind that weight, something ignited. Power surged through her veins. This wasn't just about fear, it was about reclaiming her truth. "Together, Mia!" Jenna shouted, locking eyes with her friend. "We can do this." With that, they took a deep breath and stepped forward, ready to confront the dark truths of their past. But even as they moved deeper, Jenna felt a terrible uncertainty rise within her. What depths would they reach? What darkness would emerge from confronting the shadows of their lives? As the chamber roared with energy, she could only hope the light wasn't a siren's call leading them to destruction. Would they emerge from this trial unscathed, or find themselves ensnared forever in the web of their own creation? As they stepped into the pulse of shadows, Jenna felt as if the floor had dropped out beneath her. The faces drifted closer, their expressions etched with sorrow and anger, eyes hollow like dark wells waiting to swallow her whole. The weight of their gazes pressed hard against her chest, pushing her back into the very depths she had long tried to escape. "Jenna," Mia whispered, her voice trembling. "What if we can't handle this?" "Don't think that. We have each other," Jenna replied, forcing confidence into her tone even as her own heart raced wildly. The apparition's voice floated around them again, wrapping them in a cobweb of temptation and fear. "You think it's enough to hold hands and face the past? Each of you carries a burden meant only for you to bear." "No!" Jenna shouted, her voice cutting through the thick silence. "We're here together. We'll face whatever is coming." As if responding to her defiance, the shadows recoiled and then surged forward again. Dark figures twisted into tangible form, people from Jenna's past, their faces contorted with memories she tried so hard to forget. Her mother's despair-soaked visage met her eyes first, and a knife of guilt lodged itself deep within her. "Why did you leave me?" Her mother mouthed soundlessly, the accusation thrilling through the air. Jenna's heart lurched. I didn't mean to. I thought enough of your excuses. The apparition interjected, the woman's voice turning icy. This is your moment to choose, face it or flee. Many have tried to run. Few have escaped what you're confronting now. Mia's grip tightened on Jenna's hand, grounding her in this storm of memories and emotions. You don't have to do this alone. Just remember, it's not just about you. You say that now, the woman taunted, but what will you do when the truth unfolds before you? Can your bond withstand the fires of reality? The shadows recoiled, pulling back momentarily, and Jenna felt the surge of power pulsating throughout the chamber swell in her. She took a step forward. I won't let those memories control me. You're not my ruler. I am not afraid. The words rattled against the chamber walls, colliding with the faces, transforming despair into something less solid. The shadows flickered, colors of anger and regret blending with hints of liberation. And then Jenna saw something, a flicker of light dancing behind her father's face, buried beneath layers of pain. You were never alone, Jenna, he whispered, his voice surrounded by hope. Trust your heart. Embrace your story, all of it. Suddenly, a fierce wind whipped through the chamber, mixing the shadows with the light. Jenna felt the weight lifting, grasping at something beyond the pain. She inhaled deeply, embracing the truth she often hid from. I have the right to my fears, my grief, but I will not be defined by them. With those words, something remarkable happened. The shadows began to unravel, their forms withering as light burst forth in vibrant waves. Jenna and Mia stood united, heartbeats echoing like a battle drum, each pulse a declaration of their resilience, but just as the last of the darkness seemed to dissolve, the woman's figure flickered chaotically. This isn't over. She hissed, her voice a screeching echo. You've only scratched the surface. The real test lies ahead. Fear clawed back at Jenna, sweeping over her like a tidal wave. As the light surged, she felt an unholy pull, like the fabric of reality around them began to unravel. Mia, hold on. Jenna screamed, clutching her friend's hand tighter as they swayed on the verge of breaking. The shadows twisted into one final burst of despair, a cacophony of screams rattling through the air, drawing Jenna and Mia into its depths. As darkness engulfed them once more, Jenna braced for the unknown ahead. What choices would they have to make? What horrors would they still have to confront? The woman's chilling laughter echoed in the void. You thought you had seen the truth. Wait until you uncover the real darkness lurking beneath the surface. Jenna felt her heart skip as the darkness wrapped around her like a suffocating blanket. Shapes pressed in from all sides. They were whispers, echoes of doubt filling her ears with taunts and accusations. She squeezed Mia's hand harder, her knuckles white. They couldn't let fear win. Not now. Jenna. Mia's voice sliced through the fog. We can't let it trap us again. Just remember the light. Right. The light. Jenna focused on the memory of illumination, the flicker of hope that had flashed through her father's face. She had to reach deep within. The shadows shifted, revealing striking images, moments of her life flashing before her eyes like snapshots, each one capturing pain she buried. Heart-wrenching scenes of lost opportunities and swallowed screams. No. Jenna choked, fighting back tears. She couldn't drown in this sorrow. I refuse to be afraid. With her heart pounding, Jenna willed her focus back on Mia. We're stronger together. She shouted, her voice cracking but resolute. As if giving in to her conviction, the dark figures hesitated. A ripple of light shimmered across the chamber, pulling at the edges of the shadows like a fishing net. Beneath darker forms, shades of vibrant colors began to emerge: hope, love, even joy. The joy she thought she'd never feel again. Remember why we're here. Mia cried, her words igniting something within Jenna. Face the truth. Face what binds us. Jenna let the memories flood her, each one a testament to her bravery, her resilience. She recalled the laughter shared, the friendships formed, the moments of pure joy. These weren't shadows anymore, they were the echoes of her life. She took another step into the chaos. Shadows don't define us. Jenna yelled. We choose what to carry forward. With that proclamation, a surge of energy blasted through her. The dark figures writhed as if cut by invisible blades, their forms beginning to disintegrate. She felt Mia's energy pulsate beside her. Suddenly, the woman's figure reappeared, towering ominously amidst the chaos. You're foolish to think you can walk away, she sneered. Each choice has a consequence. Do you really know what lies ahead? The challenge hung in the air, thick as fog. Jenna's fear clawed back, dizzying her, but she pushed through it. We'll face it together. Whatever it is, we'll find a way. With that declaration, the shadows tried to pulse inward, clinging desperately, trying to crush her resolve. But the light surrounding her and Mia burned brighter, pushing back the clutches of despair. Then, it hit. The cold realization that not only were they confronting their shared past, but their individual demons as well. The truth struck Jenna like a thunderbolt. She wasn't just battling for herself, but for everything she wanted to protect and become. What do you want? She shouted into the swirling darkness. What will it take to free you? The woman's expression shifted, scorn melting into confusion, then back to rage. You're so close, but don't think you'll find what you seek easily. Feel the pain. Shape it. Only then are you free. The laughter echoed hauntingly, wrapping around them. The world trembled, and as a blinding flash consumed everything, Jenna felt her grip on reality tighten and loosen all at once. We're losing it. Mia screamed, panic creeping into her voice. And then they were gone. The light shattered, an explosion of brilliance followed by a deafening silence. Jenna saw nothing, felt nothing, just the raw throb of uncertainty. But then, in that silence, a flickering light appeared. It glowed like a beacon in the void, and Jenna felt its pull. Was it hope? Or something dark waiting to ensnare her? Yet she knew. They had to find out. The truth awaited, lurking just beneath the surface. Are you ready, Mia? Jenna whispered into the void, a question laced with trepidation and determination, but only silence answered back. What fate awaited them now? The darkness pressed heavily against Jenna and Mia. They clutched each other's hands, trembling but resolute. I can't let go, Jenna whispered, fighting against the suffocating shadows wrapping around them. Mia nodded, her eyes glinting with fierce determination. We faced shadows before. We can do it again. A fragile flicker of hope ignited within Jenna's heart. No more running, no more hiding. This was their moment. As they moved deeper into the void, they felt a surge, a pulse of energy radiating from inside them, something raw and fierce. Suddenly, out of the billowing darkness, the phantom woman re-emerged, her figure unraveling like smoke. Welcome back, brave souls. You still cling to that foolish hope, believing you can conquer what lies ahead. Are you prepared to pay the price for your truths? Jenna steeled herself. We don't fear what you represent. We want our lives back. The woman's laughter rang hollow, vibrating into echoes of despair. You speak of life, yet you shun pain. Every truth comes at a cost. Are you ready to confront the darkness you've buried for too long? Mia blinked, showing no sign of faltering. Only by facing it can we break free. The shadows shifted, swirling like a violent storm, colliding with memories that felt like shrapnel ripping through her heart. Jenna felt herself sliding, the weight of her past pulling her inward. Mia! She screamed, panic threatening to overtake her. And then there it was, the anguish she thought she had hidden forever. Guilt that swelled each time she thought about her mother and the life choices that had led her to the city. Tears streamed down her face. I failed you. The woman's voice pierced her turmoil. You abandoned her. She is forever lost because of you. Will you let this define you? No. Jenna protested, her voice scraping through her throat. I can't just be a failure. But in that moment, the shadow of her mother stepped forward, a wisp of sorrow radiating from her. You never wanted to leave me, did you? The emptiness in you, it echoes through time. Jenna pressed her hands to her ears. No. I want to let you hurt me. Is that what you think? The woman whispered, the shadows vibrating with her words. You must understand, to break the chains of your fear, you must accept your pain, your loss. Only then can you find true freedom. Mia's grip tightened. Jenna, we have to face this. All of it. Drawing a deep breath, Jenna looked straight into the darkness coiling around her. It was time to embrace the pain, not as a burden, but as a part of her that needed healing. I want to let my past own me. I will emerge from this. The room shook violently, shadows swirling as if in response to Jenna's brave words. The dark woman's countenance flickered, a tinge of uncertainty creeping in. I won't deny my mother or my mistakes. I will learn and I will grow. Jenna shouted, each word igniting a surge of power within her. She was not just a failure, she was a survivor. A fighter. The shadows shrieked and writhed, recoiling as the light of hope burst forth from her heart, expanding into the dark expanse. Together, we overcome. Jenna shouted, feeling a fire ignite within her soul. Mia stood like a sentinel, radiating strength. Together. She echoed. All at once, a blinding light erupted from the center of the chamber. The shadows screeched, trying to coil back around them, but it was too late. The purity of their combined hope and courage shattered the dark veil, sending the shadows spiraling back into nothingness. The echoes of lost souls faded, silenced in the wake of their defiance. No. The woman shrieked, her form dissolving into 100 swirling particles, the darkness succumbed to the overpowering light. And then, silence. Jenna and Mia stood together in the remnants of the chamber, the gentle warmth of dawn spilling in like a promise. Each breath was a new beginning, unfurling the tendrils of hope that they had fought so fiercely to grasp. They had faced their fears, and in doing so, had brought light back to their lives. You did it, Jenna. We did it, Mia smiled through her tears. For the first time in ages, relief surged through Jenna's chest like a tidal wave. I couldn't have done it without you. The specter of the woman lingered momentarily, a remnant of all the fear and pain that had been banished. But there was a tinge of something else now. Something like respect. You've not just found the strength to confront the darkness, you've embraced your truths. None of us can escape our past, Mia said softly, gazing into the endless horizon. But we don't have to let them define us. As the first rays of sunlight pierced the darkness, Jenna knew the scars of their journey would always remain, reminding them of what they had overcome. Let us go home, Jenna said, her voice steady and filled with newfound purpose. Hand in hand, they walked toward the sun, leaving the remnants of the shadows behind. Together they would carve new paths, new stories, ones filled with light and connection instead of fear. The future awaited them, brimming with endless possibilities, and so their journey continued, not as mere survivors of darkness, but as champions of their own truths more vibrant than the shadows that tried to consume them. You need to subscribe now. Hit that bell so you never miss a moment of our next incredible adventures. Smash that like button now to help fuel our stories and spread the love. Your voice matters. Flood the comments with your thoughts and theories about this thrilling conclusion. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who absolutely need to see this. Show your support and become part of the community today.